A long-simmering border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia has erupted into fresh violence, raising fears of a wider conflict that could draw in the United States and China, who are vying for influence in the strategically vital Southeast Asian region. The renewed clashes center around the historic Adhere temple, a site of deep cultural and national significance for both nations and a persistent source of contention for over a century. While skirmishes between Thai and Cambodian forces have occurred intermittently over the years, the current escalation is viewed by many international observers as a proxy battleground for the intensifying rivalry between Washington and Beijing. Each global power has significant economic and security interests at stake, and their respective support for Thailand and Cambodia threaten to transform a localized conflict into a major international crisis. The immediate trigger for the latest outbreak of hostilities remained contested, with both sides trading accusations of initiating the aggression. However, the underlying drivers of the conflict are a complex mix of historical grievance, resource competition, and the ever-present influence of foreign powers, all of which are exacerbated by the volatile domestic political landscapes in both Bangkok and Phnom Penh, where nationalist fervor can be a potent political tool. The administration of the United States President Donald Trump is closely monitoring the escalating situation. In a recent press briefing, Secretary of State Marco Rubio called for an immediate cessation of hostilities and a return to diplomatic negotiations to find a peaceful resolution. Secretary Rubio underscored the critical importance of upholding international law and respecting the sovereignty and territorial integrity of both Thailand and Cambodia. He confirmed that he has been in direct communications with the foreign minister of both nations, urging them to exercise maximum restraint and avoid any actions that could lead to a further dangerous escalation. Privately, however, Washington's strategic calculations are heavily influenced by its long-standing alliance with Thailand. The two nations are bound by a mutual defense treaty, and their armed forces have a deep history of close cooperation. There are growing concerns within the Trump administration that a protracted conflict could destabilize a key regional ally, potentially creating a power vacuum that China would be all too eager to fill. In a clear signal of American commitment, Secretary of Defense Peter Hegseth has been in contact with his Thai counterpart to discuss the deteriorating security situation and to reaffirm the United States' unwavering support for its treaty ally. There are credible reports that the Pentagon is actively considering a significant increase in its military assistance to Thailand, a move that would undoubtedly be interpreted by Beijing as a direct challenge to its expanding influence across Southeast Asia. On the other side of the geopolitical divide, the People's Republic of China has been methodically and successfully expanding its economic and political footprint in Cambodia. Over the last decade, Beijing has emerged as Cambodia's single largest foreign investor and its most important source of development aid and assistance. This has translated into a substantial degree of political leverage, with the Cambodian government frequently aligning itself with China's position on key regional and international issues. In its public statement regarding the current border dispute, the Chinese government has maintained a more measured tone, officially calling for a peaceful resolution while implicitly lending support to Cambodia's claim. Chinese officials have been keen to highlight their relationship with Cambodia as a model of mutual respect and non-interference in internal affairs, a subtle but clear critic of the United States' network of former alliances in the region. There are also persistent reports that China has been providing significant military supports to Cambodia, including advanced training programs and modern military hardware. This assistance has demonstrably enhanced Cambodia's military capabilities, altering the regional balance of power and emboldening the government in its dealing with its larger neighbor, Thailand. The economic ramifications of the conflict are also a major cause for concern. The border region between Thailand and Cambodia is rich in valuable natural resources, including timber and mineral deposits, which have been a source of bilateral tensions and competitions for many years. The current military clashes are threatening to severely disrupt the flow of cross-border trade and investment, which would have a significant negative impact on the economies of both countries. United States Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick has publicly expressed his deep concerns over the potential economic fallout from the conflict, warning that it could disrupt critical supply chains and adversely affect American businesses with operations in the region. The United States maintains substantial trade and investment relationship with both Thailand and Cambodia, and a prolonged period of instability could jeopardize these vital economic interests. China also has considerable economic interests at stake as it seeks to further expand its ambitious Belt and Road initiative throughout Southeast Asia. A stable and predictable regional security environment is essential for the success of China's long-term economic strategy, but its unwavering support for Cambodia could inadvertently undermine the very stability it requires. The international community's response to the escalating crisis has so far been muted, with many nations hesitant to take side in a dispute that has the potential to entangle the world's two most powerful nations. The Associations of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, of which both Thailand and Cambodia are member states, has issued calls for a peaceful resolution to the conflict, but has thus far been unable to broker a lasting and meaningful solution. The organization's foundational principles of non-interference in the internal affairs of its member states has often proven to be a significant obstacle to effective conflict resolution. Officials at the United Nations have also expressed the grave concerns about the escalating tensions and have urged both sides to adhere to the 1962 ruling of the International Court of Justice, which awarded sovereignty of the Predetermined temple to Cambodia. However, this ruling has never been fully accepted by Thailand, and the temple remains a potent symbol of national pride and historical grievance for a significant portion of the Thai population. The powerful role of domestic politics in both Thailand and Cambodia cannot be overstated as a driving force in the current conflict. In Thailand, the current government is a fragile and unwieldy coalition that is facing intense pressure from influential nationalist groups to adopt a hardline stance in the border dispute. The Thai military, which has a long and storied history of intervening in the country's political affairs, is also a key player and is widely expected to advocate for a robust and muscular response to any perceived act of Cambodian aggression. In Cambodia, the long-ruling government has frequently and effectively used the border issue as a means of rallying public support and deflecting attentions from its own domestic challenges. The current tensions provide a convenient and timely opportunity to stoke the flames of nationalist sentiment and further consolidate its grip on power. The highly personalized and often unpredictable nature of politics in both nations means that the decisions of a small number of key individuals could have a profound and lasting impact on the trajectory of the conflict. The Trump administration's strategic approach to the crisis is still in the process of being formulated. While Secretary Rubio has publicly and consistently advocated for peaceful and diplomatic resolution, there are strong indications that some influential officials within the administrations are pushing for a more assertive and confrontational stance in support of Thailand. Such a move could be broadly consistent with the administration's overarching foreign policy strategy of actively confronting and containing China's growing global influence. However, a more confrontational approach is fraught with significant risk, as it could easily escalate the conflict and potentially draw the United States into a direct and dangerous confrontation with China. The administration will need to carefully and deliberately weigh its options and fully consider the potential consequences of its action. The situation is a textbook example of how a localized regional dispute can be amplified and intensified by the dynamics of great power competition. With the people of Thailand and Cambodia caught in the precarious middle, the potential for a disastrous miscalculation is dangerously high, and a seemingly minor incident could quickly and uncontrollably spiral into a much larger and more destructive conflagration. The close proximity of military force from both sides of the border creates a tinderbox environment where a single spark could ignite a regional firestorm. The international community must redouble its efforts to find a viable and sustainable diplomatic solution to the crisis before it is too late. The United States and China, in particular, have a special and urgent responsibility to use their considerable influence to de-escalate the tensions and prevent the conflict from spreading further. A peaceful, stable, and prosperous Southeast Asia is in the best interest of all nations, and it is imperative that the current dispute between Thailand and Cambodia is not allowed to undermine this shared goal. The coming days and weeks will be absolutely critical in determining whether this regional conflict can be successfully contained or whether it will tragically become yet another active front in the escalating and increasingly perilous rivalry between the United States and China. The decisions made in the corridors of power in Washington and Beijing will have far-reaching and profound consequences for the people of Southeast Asia and for the broader international community. The world is watching with bated breath to see if diplomacy and restraint will ultimately prevail over confrontation and conflict. The future of the entire region may very well hang in the balance. Many of my listeners, like 70%, haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel. And so many of you don't even know that you haven't subscribed. And that is actually what makes the show going. It's almost like you're making a donation to the show. So that's why I ask again and again, because it enables us to grow and grow. And we're going for the long haul here. And listen, if this is your first time listening to So Hey Rich, you don't have to subscribe. You guys, your first one's on me. But if you have watched the show before, it's like you're a freeloader now. So all I would ask you is, if you have seen the show before and you like it, help me, help my team here. Hit that subscribe and like button now, and we will continue to build the show for you. That I swear. Thank you to all of you guys who have subscribed. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. That's all for me for today. I will see you soon. Bye for now.